Welcome to Reading the Green and our golf and fantasy sports show. My name is Mike with Kyle and Jordan on Tuesday, January 16th. We got our, Jordan, you called it the Spire Credit Union Open this week. Yeah, there we go. That works.
Formerly known as Spire Credit Union, since they decided to change their name to something stupider.
The Citibank Open.
Come on, guys, it's the Diners Club Classic from PGA West. We got our preview on the books. We're going to recap the Sony Open on episode 93, a couple of other good things. Hey, I'm on night number 4 of the Big Apple. So if you hear some raspiness in my voice, or if I fall asleep in about 10 minutes, that's why.
You do sound a little raspy, Mike. And you told it in the pre-pod, you told us you keep waking up sore. Me and Jordan have a lot of questions.
Yeah. What are you doing with your friends and coworkers that you're getting so sore, Mike?
Solving the world's retail problems.
That's code for something.
Well, it was something, but you know what? There's no better way to finish it off than to have you guys fill me on whatever happened this weekend in professional golf and maybe help me win some money. The first thing, though, and speaking of winning money, Kyle, you brought this up as maybe a topic worth talking about a little bit as we continue to fan out our fantasy sports and sports betting work. DraftKings Pick 6. Are you in? Are you playing?
I haven't done it yet. So Jordan and I stumbled into, because for those that don't know, somehow these freaking parlay pick contest things are legal in the state of Minnesota, even though other betting.
Is that what you call them? Parlay pick contest things? I don't know what to call them.
I mean, it works, right? I mean, it generally describes what it is. That's legal in the state of Minnesota, but somehow, when was it, Jordan? Last summer? We came across one for Sleeper, which we
right before football season. Yeah, I got us Fantasy Pros for free.
Yeah, so we deposited some money in there to do that. So I'm still messing around with that, and I'm not very good at it. It's annoying, so I have stayed away from Pick 6.
Let's back up and maybe describe what a parlay pick thing is. So basically, like if you've played, what are the apps that are out there that are doing this? You got Sleeper, you got DraftKings Pick 6, Prize Picks, I think, work similarly. There's a whole bunch of them like that. Basically, you are submitting a 2, 3, 4, 5, 6-leg parlay. In some cases, across sports, across slates. In the DraftKings Pick 6 case, the slates are usually pretty narrow. And you're putting together your parlay, and you're paid out some multiple, like you would in a sports book, some multiple on your entry. Kyle, you made the point about why is it legal? And, I'm looking at the coverage map of where DraftKings Pick 6 is not legal. And it appears to be not legal in the states where the sports book is legal. So this is almost like a way for them to get coverage in the states where sports books and mobile sports gambling are not legal, like Minnesota. And they do it by creating a fantasy contest. I actually just opened it up, and there was a little modal that said, here's how peer-to-peer payouts work. So all it's doing is pooling the money. It's pooling the money in the background. And so based on how well your parlayed picks do, they're paying you out some percentage of the pool that is being contributed by your peers. There's no house. And so therefore, we've created a legal sports book.
So I'm giving, people money, basically, when I've done the Sleeper so far. Like, I am so good. Jordan, you did this at the start, too. Like, taking 5 or 6 of these bad boys and missing one.
Yeah.
Like, I had that happen on Sunday because Kyron Williams left the game early with an injury, and I needed one more catch. Anyway.
The thing is,
it's interesting. And at least, I get the Pick 6 one, DraftKings Pick 6, why that's legal, because it's stupid. Like, you don't know how much you're going to win until see how everyone else does. So if they have a bad line and everyone bets it, you're going to win a fraction of what you're estimating.
You're going to put in a lot of hard work for a 5-leg parlay, and you're going to win, plus 400, plus 500. Like, that'd be ridiculous to win for a 5-leg.
But Sleeper's not that way. Sleeper, you put your picks in, it tells you exactly what you're going to win if that happens. So that I don't know how it's
what they're doing in the back. Yeah.
Yeah.
The benefit, the plug I'll make for pick 6, Jordan, this is why it's good for you, is as long as you make 4 picks, 3 out of 4 or 4 out of 5 or 5 out of 6 pays usually 1 to 1x, 1.5x. So, a guy like you that usually misses by 1,
Yeah.
you can still make a little bit of money. Guy like me that's hit 5-leg parlays on NFL the last 2 nights, I walk away with with a little bit of cash. So that's actually been pretty good. And it's funny, Kyle, because I was texting you guys in the airport. I was leaving Minneapolis, frustrated that I couldn't get my Monday picks in because it wasn't legal in New York and the line wasn't out before I left Minneapolis. And so I just rolled with the 2 $5 bets I put in there, and they hit nicely.
So instead of the peer-to-peer, though, Mike, you're in a legal betting state. You should actually
just
parlay
some bets.
Some bets.
The
Put the Masters bets down.
I will do. I promise I will do that. That
Chris
is a no-brainer.
Here is a guarantee lock to win the Masters.
But if I would have gone to the sports book on Sunday morning and taken the overs on St. Brown, Lamb, Stafford, Puka, and under on Gibbs rushing, I feel like that would have paid more than 8-1.
Oh, for sure.
So yeah, I feel like I got hosed a little bit. You're right. I should have gone to the sports book with that. Well, anyways, I'm not going to call it a racket. I do agree, you're kind of flying blind, but it's just a way for them to keep scraping at a few bucks here and there from all their loyal users.
Yes.
All right, so before we get into the Sony, Kyle, you got an NA you want to share with the group?
Yeah, it's a new one I haven't tried before. Surly's Outlook Good non-alcoholic hoppy pale. It's again serviceable. It's an NA. Still looking for Fair State. If anyone from Fair State Brewing in Minneapolis is listening, Mike, you're with me on this. But Hyper Cold 3 years ago they released in January. It was great. I would drink it. It was NA, and I would drink it whenever. But they haven't.
Do you feel like the non-alcoholic market has improved year to year for your dry January?
I don't know. I'm benchmarking everything with that one. There's a lot more options now, and they're easier to find, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say
maybe marginally.
The number of options has increased, not the quality of said options.
I mean, they're serviceable. If you were doing this 15 years ago, you just were drinking crap.
Have you tried Heineken Zero or any of the major craft NAs or any of the major brewer NAs?
No, I haven't. No, like Busch NA.
Duels.
Haven't gone down that route.
That is our next Tuesday pod. I need you to go out and get the Heineken Zero and the Busch NA and try them live for us.
I'll take delivery, Jordan.
What do you got, Jordan?
Yours looked very good.
Juicy Bits by Weldwerks.
Weldwerks.
Yeah. Delicious.
Always a good one. Always a good one.
I was at the liquor store and I was like, oh, there's a new Drecker. There's this other one. I'm like, I buy these one-off beers that are usually okay. I'm like, but I know Juicy Bits is good and it's not 8%. So I came home with Juicy Bits and Huey.
Who's to go to in our fridge?
I don't need a double IPA from Drecker for a Tuesday night.
I'm glad you're learning, Jordan.
Well, I did have. I don't have a beer here because I'm as Kyle as you. You have this problem where you get back to your hotel room and you just forget to grab a beer, don't have access to a beer. I did put back 2 Fat Orange Cat Brewing double IPAs at dinner. So I feel like I was good for the night, especially after the last few nights. But in our beer snob ways, what's your move when you're at kind of like a clubby scene, vibey party, whatever. And the beer options, and you want beer, had enough cocktails. The beer options are Heineken, Stella, Corona.
Corona.
Screw Mary Kill. What's the what's the order?
I order a Moscow Mule.
Heineken's the last one there for me. I've rocked Stella before, but Corona is usually my go-to at the trade show type events for something later.
I went Stella. I won't do Heineken. It's too skunky. Yeah, I think it is. It's just trash. But I went Stella, and then when they ran out of Stella, I went Corona.
Same vein.
Okay. All right. They got the Sony Open recap, and frankly, what I know about this golf tournament is what I was able to see on the PGA Tour app on the leaderboard. So Kyle, you got hot takes. Somebody won this thing.
Grayson Murray at like what 450 to 1 or something nuts. So apparently there's a theme, and I know this has been all over Twitter already, but since I'm doing dry January, I'll bring it up. We've had two dry individuals now win the first two events of the year in Chris Kirk and Grayson Murray. And
we better hurry up and have the RTG Open here this month for you to have a chance.
Let's go.
So
we're due for a sim, by the way. Right.
Is there a sober alcoholic on tour that people are thinking of backing this week then?
I've heard that put out there on Twitter, but I haven't seen anyone identify the individual yet. So something to keep an eye out for.
So you know what it means? It's got to be Kirk. It's got to be Kirk. We'll get to that.
Yeah, Chris Kirk.
We'll
I mean, he's going to win like 8 times this year, probably.
At least.
Yeah. So Grayson, so Mike, you missed it, right? But we get into a playoff. Well, first off, to get to that playoff for Benny On to join the playoff, he absolutely smokes a 1-iron on 18 to have a shot at from the fairway. He does not carry a fairway wood in his bag, supposedly.
Sounds like me.
And I figured that's why you would like it. So he had an eagle chance that would have given him the dub. Gets the tap in. He gets the tap in birdie. Goes to the playoff with Keegs and Grayson Murray. Grayson Murray hits a duck hook of a drive. Gets a little bit of a lucky bounce off a tree, I believe, where Benny and Keegan just hit great drives. Just perfect out there in the fairway. Both reachable in 2. Benny puts it short in a little bit of the
short right or short
gully.
left?
He's short right.
Yeah, there's like that mound in front,
front
right of the green where guys kept getting stuck there.
And he got kind of a bad break that it didn't even like roll all the way back down, got hung up in the long rough right there. And Grayson had to hit a pitching wedge out. So Keegan, all he's got to do is put it on and 2-putt probably to victory is what we're thinking at this point. He yanks it left into the left stands, gets TIO. Murray puts it on. I think he has like 50 some feet away. Benny hits a great chip, has 4.5 feet for birdie. Keegan does not do very well at the chip, does not get over the hill, has 30 feet left. You're still thinking, all right, Keegan's got to give it a run. Benny's going to make this putt and go win. Well, Grayson steps up and drops the bomb. Keegan misses.
Birdie from 50 feet.
Yes. Keegan misses, and then Benny misses his 4.5 footer.
No, are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I didn't even go back and look at this. Oh God. Now tell me, why do we hate Grayson Murray? Do we still hate him?
I mean, you can buy into his redemption story. Hate's a strong word, Mike. But he has been known.
I don't know, Kyle. I saw a lot of texts this weekend. Just get out of here, Grayson Murray.
Well, I had him.
No more Grayson Murray.
I didn't have him in any of my crap, right? So I didn't want him to win. I had a vested interest in Keegan winning. Benny would have helped me out, so I didn't need Grayson Murray to win. But he's known for his Twitter rants back in the day, and obviously in Delaware, Rory also told him to play better, which seems pretty funny, and he listened. He played better.
Yeah. I mean, was it last year when he was he chirping at Kevin Na after he had missed the cut, something like that. And then they almost got in a fight on the driving range, but maybe we're not on Team Na anymore, so we have to take Murray's side. I don't know.
He deleted Twitter now, doesn't drink,
Okay.
has a new fiance that they like to show a lot, so apparently he's a new person.
All right.
Is this going to be his year?
The worst part of the Sony, though, and I know the no laying up guys love to talk about TIO, but there was an egregious, in my mind, TIO that had a pretty big impact on some of the finishes down the stretch. So Crazy Carl was in tied for first at this point. Hits his drive into a bunker on 18. Did you see this at all? Huh?
I think I saw someone talking about it, but I didn't see the action.
Can we talk about what a TIO is? Because I had to Google it, and our listeners are
it's uncle in Spanish, Jordan. Come on.
Good one, Mike.
Doesn't that make sense? Does that not make sense?
Good one.
Yeah. It's temporary relief, right? Temporary relief from all the stands that I like to hit.
Temporary immovable obstruction.
Yes. All right. So he tries to hit a 3 or 5 wood out of the bunker and just sails it. And it goes right to the green. And it sure looks like on camera he either lands on top of the hospitality tent or flies it. They cannot find his ball. But apparently there's a local rule that if you're virtually certain of an outcome, and they're virtually certain his ball went supposedly into the tent, which from the video it sure looked like it didn't. So they gave him relief when I didn't know you could. I didn't know you could get relief if you could not find your ball. But so I'm going to use that from now on. I'm virtually certain of a lot of things, guys, and that just means they happen.
I don't know. I mean, and there's a number of venues where this happens. That is, I mean, he's probably getting a 60-yard benefit on getting it because he takes the drop just to the right of the green on 18 there.
That's where they dropped on quote on the line, but
yeah,
I mean, it could have been if he flew it and they found his ball on the other side and he has to go back to line of sight or hit it over. He would have had to go back a long ways.
There's nothing that the tournaments there's nothing that can be done to solve this. Like there's nowhere else to put the fans. They're not going to have grandstands. I get it though. Like you'd love to see that played out, like play the ball where it lies and not have this happen. But I know that all you guys like talk about, it's not going to change.
Well, correct. But if you can't find your ball, I think that's a completely different situation. And
it's in a pavilion. Of course he can't find it.
No, it didn't go in it though.
Pavilion.
It flew it.
Yeah.
Like it was it
was in the Pacific Ocean or what?
It was somewhere. It was not anywhere close to the 18th green. But in regulation, Grayson Murray hit his drive way right, and it wasn't the grandstand around the green. There was just another random hospitality tent he got line of sight relief from.
Sure.
As well, and apparently had a really bad lie. Again, some of it I think they just need to be a little bit more strategic on where they put some of these things. Like put it around the green is one thing, but anything within driving distance should not have.
Where the dispersion is a little higher. Sure. What else you got? Anything, or should we run through some of the wrap up on the model and the metrics?
Well, I can tell you. The model didn't do too bad, maybe. I'll let you get the rundown there. But I personally had a rough week.
I think it was stepping on landmines, to be honest. The model did have a good week. We look at, both of our key metrics, players that rank high in our share percentage. We only had 2 missed cuts. If you look at anyone that has 25%, so a quarter of the expert attention and above, only 2 missed cuts out of that group. That was Glover and Kuchar. And for some reason, the models that I ran to generate my cash lineups had a lot of Glover and a lot of Kuchar. So that certainly hurt. And then we had, you look at some of the high, we'll call the high power index plays, but seeing quite a big benefit on guys ranking out at 90 or above. So like JT Poston, Keegan Bradley, who had the top power index, Andrew Putnam ended up having having a nice week, as did Tyrrell Hatton. So we saw a nice above average performance on the guys ranked 90 and above on our power index scale. So it was a good week. I just stepped on the 2 landmines.
I'm with you there. It's 2 landmines. And really, I think where I went wrong, I got a lot right at the top. And even when I did go in the 8K range, had a lot of Keegan, had a lot of Benyon, had tons of Russell Henley. I just did not do well at the bottom of the board. And the 2 landmines you mentioned were the guys in the 7s, right? And I just, Vincent and Ben Griffin had a little bit of them, but unfortunately paired it usually with one of the other ones and just did not get much right at the bottom, unfortunately.
Well, we had the guys that did get it right. Listener Derek wins the Listener League this week by a handful of points over Jimmy Crack and P. Koziak 3 coming in third. So good start for the RTG Listener League this year. We also had our top content creator of the week. That was Kyle. You'll find this controversial, but Pat Mayo offering a top 7 pick in Nick Taylor. But as you pointed out, Len Hochberg, the top half of his picks performed very well. On Bradley, he had a bunch of really good stuff. I did tail him on some of his 6K plays, and I got that a bit wrong with Matty Schmid, but either way, Hochberg with another good week. And then gutsiest play goes to Sam Smith over at Stochastic on the cheat sheet. Emiliano Grillo pops a little bit towards the end. Jordan, sounds like your neighborhood game kind of took over the one and done this week.
Unacceptable, because they texted me all night Sunday night after it finished, talking smack about how easy this is. But yes, and luckily then Grayson Murray won, and none of them got first place. But yeah, we had 2 Keegan Bradleys and Ben on pick, so they all got $738,000. Nice little start to the year. And then there was a whole slew of people, another 7 or so, that had Russell Henley and got 375K. One of them being me. So I've, staked my lead on you guys, and we'll only see it grow from here. But Mike, I saw you down here. You made the cut, so that's A+ for making the cut. D- for getting dead last of the people that made the cut and making $18,000.
What do you think about my late swap on Thursday morning, pulling Adam Svensson out of my locked pick and putting in Justin Rose?
I never support late swaps, Mike. Yeah. But you made the cut, got a little bit of money. At least none of us picked Will Zalatoris, who had 2 selections in the one and done, surprisingly, this week.
It is on record. It is on record for me telling a follower, I will absolutely not play Justin Rose in one and done. I will take him in DFS. And then I did the exact opposite of that. So I get what I get.
Kyle, I don't even see you in our leaderboard. Did you make a pick last week?
Corey Connors.
What's your name in here?
Four, right.
You're not RTG Kyle anymore. Okay. Oh, so you and Mike tied for $18,592.
And with that, I think we should move on to the American Express. I'm going to change subjects. So we get the American Express. We get the first of the course rotation events here. Jordan, that is it for the video watchers there. That was a special effect.
We like that?
Put on your video.
Just built that in. If you give a thumbs up.
That is special. Go check us out on YouTube. The American Express down at PGA West. We get a 3-course rotation. A 3-course rotation between La Quinta, the PGA West Nicholas course, and the Pete Dye Stadium course at PGA West. Kyle, I don't have the breakdown of kind of what the angle is between the courses, but last year, Yeehaw Should Not Be Named again took control, I believe, over Davis Thompson, and took home the crown here at the what is known as a effing putting contest. Keep in mind, before you jump into the course preview, top 65 in ties after 54 holes. each player gets a chance at each of the 3 courses, and then there is a Saturday cut. So a little bit different format this week. We'll see the same thing at Pebble.
The funny part about the putting contest is round 1 with actually losing strokes per round putting, where we do have data at the stadium course. So it probably didn't for the whole week over at the Quinta and Nicholas course, but he did on his 2 rounds for stadium.
Jordan, just so you heard that. That's La Quinta, I believe, is the
La Quinta, La Quinta Inn.
Continue, Kyle.
Yeah. Low penalty for missing fairways here, slow greens, easy pins. There is an element of a pro-am on this, so that's something to keep in mind. Probably want to look at folks that play well with that format because it's certainly not for everyone. The main defense, at least at the stadium course, is water and deep bunkers. What is it? Is it 15 or 16, the par 3 with the rocks that people like to hit?
I think it's 17 on the stadium course.
Okay. Yeah, rockets around. It makes sense. TPC course having a short par 3 with some defense.
And I think 16 is the par 5 with like the 10-foot wall going down to the bunker. Yeah.
So what we're looking for is elite iron play, streaky putters, and guys that can go low. You mentioned John Rahm won here last year. We actually had Hudson Swafford as a winner twice, 23 and 20 under. Siwoo Kim's won, Andrew Landry, Adam Long. So you'll notice the theme there, long shots. But this field is probably a little bit stronger than we've had in the past. But the average winner over the last 8 years has been 131-1.
That's crazy. And I'm guessing a lot of that is because, like you said, there isn't a lot of penalty off the tee. You do got to hit the ball well. You get it going. The thing I think is interesting is the lack of correlation to putting on this golf course, despite it being a putting contest, which, I'll probably just go ahead and say Rahm didn't really know what he was talking about. But I'm wondering, Kyle, if that's because everybody just putts well. So there isn't really an advantage to putting here because everybody's going to putt well. And so you just don't see the strokes gain numbers taking off. What's the unlock here on the greens?
Yeah, they're small greens. First off, I think they're the second or third smallest on tour. So it just, by nature, you're not going to have the 50-footers very often. Mm-hmm. And there's not a lot of undulation on the greens. So as you said, it's just easier to putt, and easier putting is easier for everyone, right? It's not a differentiator.
I got a kick out of the Rick Rungood course preview with the most correlated statistic, or one of the most correlated statistics for the course, being longest holeouts.
Wow.
So I don't know. and I assume that it probably does include putting, but I wonder if you're going to see a disproportionate number of chips also going in. Maybe that speaks, Kyle, to the lack of undulation on the golf course, that maybe guys are just holing, 40, 50-yard shots a little more frequently too. So like you pointed out last week at the Sony with the easy par 5s and a ton of eagles being made, eagle makers, you might want to throw that. If you're running a model, statistical model here, building a player pool, you might want to look at eagle percentage too, if that's something you have available to you, because you could see some of those scores pop up here a little more frequently than most places. All right, you want to run through the RTG model?
Yeah, so far leading the way is Adam Hadwin and Patrick Cantlay, both coming at 35% mention share, and both pretty strong on MPI at 78 and 70. Hadwin is 8,300 this week. Cantlay is 10.8. Next, we have a quartet of guys at 28% mention share. Eric Cole, Sam Ryder, Scotty Scheffler, and Taylor Montgomery. Montgomery had a good showing here last year as well, so I think that's ingrained in people's memory. He's 8,100. Scotty, of course, leads the way at 11.4, and then Eric Cole at 8,800 and Sam Ryder at 72. I'm not surprised by any of those names. Eric Cole and Sam Ryder, I've seen on quite a few cards floating across Twitter this week. From our MPI, likes Scotty and Taylor a lot more than Cole and Ryder, and really doesn't like Ryder at all.
if you remember last year, Taylor Montgomery straight up shanked a ball in the water on 17 coming down the stretch. And I believe that was amidst lots of criticism of his quote unquote homegrown golf swing. And I can't remember who said it on the broadcast that was almost like embarrassed that he was a professional golfer with the golf swing that he had. And then he turned around and hoselled one.
Yeah, now that you say that, yes, that
I'd forgotten about that. Yeah.
The other thing I forgot to mention though, Jordan, we've played Stadium Course.
Yeah.
When was that? That was like what? That was probably 7 years ago.
Before kids, BK.
Before kids.
After Mike puking.
one of the many trips I've showed up with food poisoning or some other illness too.
Yeah.
We had a wedding, so we I want to say it was 2017.
Sounds about right.
Oh yeah, because that was right before your first child.
That's right. Jordan, what do you remember about this golf course?
I remember not playing great. I remember some brown grass.
Lots of brown grass.
It was starting to get set up for the tournament. It wasn't set up though, was it?
No, I don't think it was.
Did it used to be later?
It used to be earlier because I believe, I think either way, we went between Christmas and New Year's. So it must have been, maybe it was later.
Because like we were in Torrey, the three of us, and that was fully set up, and it's actually after this tournament.
Yeah, stuff has shifted around a little bit. The thing I remember about the course, I felt like you could kind of hit it. I know they have correlation to driving accuracy here, but I felt like as an amateur, at least, not trying to win a professional golf tournament, I felt like I could hit it anywhere and still be okay. A lot of holes running back and forth. Kyle, you talked about bunkering, but it's almost like the wilder you were off the tee, the better shape you would be. And you might have blind shots coming back to your hole because you had these kind of like, it's a stadium course. You had a lot of holes that are framed by slopes on both sides of the hole. But if you wanted to miss, you want to miss big and end up in other fairways because there aren't trees blocking your approach back to the green. So that's my game. I love missing 40, 50 yards left and right. So I don't know. I feel like if
says the one handicap,
I got a good short game. Anyways, so Kyle, with my strategic advice there, what do you like? Who do you like this week?
So far I'm having a little bit of an issue, I guess, deciding my path because we've talked about it's such a volatile event. I think from a general build perspective, especially if you're looking at like smaller contests, single entry, maybe double or 2 or 3 entry, is a studs and duds approach, picking someone you like at the top of the board and then taking some shots down low and maybe taking a stand like with someone like Sung Jae, who's 10-1. He's getting 22% mention share so far, 72 on the MPI, but he has 5 top 20s here. And just hope he can, this course fits his eye, can build on some of that history and have him be the one you get right up top and then scatter a little bit down below. Some of those from a scatter perspective, I think I'm going to look at Alex Smalley. Yeah, Jordan?
I was say that sounds like a good person to play in a Survivor League or need someone to make a cut.
I would like that approach.
Okay. All right, you keep going.
We'll come back to your Survivor League.
You keep calling. As you were talking there, I was like, that trick, like a bunch of top 20s. I don't need a winner. I need someone that's gonna.
I love that Jordan comes to the pod to get his golf advice.
Yeah, this is great. You guys are gonna help. You guys are gonna help me win my Survivor League.
Yeah. So talking about those guys to save a little bit of money, Alex Smalley is intriguing to me. 7,300 this week, also 22% mention share so far. Fairly strong on the MPI. He has a T22 and a T25 here. He actually led the field of the Sony T to green in the first 2 rounds last week, but he couldn't putt. And he's shown the ability to be a neutral putter here in the past, and that's all we need to have a decent showing out of him. And then Andrew Putnam, 5 straight made cuts here as well. again, not getting a ton of love so far. He's at 8K, so a little bit, more expensive than the Suds and Duds approach. But 15% mention share. But he's someone I'm looking to this week. And so far, he's getting love from Landon Solinsky over at DK Nation, who has been pretty solid for us in the past.
So Jordan, do you like those recs, or you got someone else in mind?
Well, I was gonna go the route in our sheet that has Kim, and Kim back to back to back. Support them, but I'm actually gonna go someone who's played the last 2 weeks, done fairly well. Akshay Bhatia. He's only got 2 mentions so far. He's got his new putter out. Seems to be working okay. Let him just go use that skinny little fucking body and hit it wherever he wants to on this course. Get back in play, make some putts. He's got a 70 MPI. I'm going Akshay this week in our listener league.
I don't mind that, Jordan. I ran the model I ran earlier today. I had Akshay ranked 7th, looking at someone with a lot of, solid driving accuracy, birdie or better percentage, decent from a long range on the iron play, has some decent course history here. I don't mind it. I think it's
nice.
good. I think it's a good spot.
Nice. My other one is Joseph Bramlett. Got a 99 on the MPI, only $6,800. I know nothing about his golf game, but I listened to the MPI.
We'll talk about a guy that hits it a mile and can be pretty crooked.
Hey, that's me.
Don't mind it.
That MPI is driven by Jason Sobel and Brandon Gadula so far, coming in with the mentions of Joseph Bramlett.
Well, let me throw a couple other things in the mix here. So, Scotty at 11-4 on a course that he can tear up, and I think does he have? Well, I might now have this wrong. I thought he had gone low here, but I might be mixing up with some of Cantlay's low rounds over the years. But that Scotty can fill it up. You're going to make birdies here. I actually am a little on a course that doesn't demand good putting. Like, this might be the spot he could, he gets back on track. Kind of like you said, Rahm lost strokes here putting last year. Scotty's a master at losing strokes on the putting green. So, if he's gonna be lights out, tee to green like he normally is, it might just be automatic. I would probably just count him in for, certainly top 10 at this point. The only thing is, if I want to just save a little bit of money, it come down to Patrick Cantlay, who is a wonderful slow play player. And so he just might have the patience to wait out the 6.5-hour pro-am rounds. But I guess I lean Scotty over Cantlay. And even at 11-4, I don't think that's a big deal to pay for Scotty at that price. If I want my Hochberg special, I'm going to lean Andrew. We're going to leave Toasty on this one. Toasty, solid driver of the golf ball. Hasn't played it much recently, but if I'm going to take a flyer at 60, what did he come in at? $6,800. I usually trust Len Hochberg with at least one 6K play, and I picked him over Justin Lower. And then I'll throw one more kind of decently priced player in there. Jason Day has been playing reasonably well, accurate off the tee, hitting it plenty long. T10 at the Century, finished 11th at the Hero, which isn't saying much. There's 18 players in that tournament, but pretty good showing at the Century. I might lead Jason Day this week and save a few bucks for maybe a second-in guy.
I think the top of the board pick and what you talked about there, Mike, is going to be interesting this week and seeing where people end up. Like I said, I like Sung Jae. I don't know if I've made the decision between Scotty and Cantlay. You got to have some exposure to one of them, probably in cash games, but I'm not sure where I land yet. A couple other names that are kind of on my radar, a little bit lower in mentions so far, but maybe worth looking into is Keith Mitchell, someone the pod here is pulling heavily for this week, 7,700. But he does have a little bit of love and a nice write-up from Lee Aldrich at Ship It Nation. So he is 17th strokes gained tee to green over the last 2 years of anyone in this field. and he finished 22nd here last year. So it seems like, the game's there for Keith. He just, and we saw this at Sony, he just usually has one bad round. If he can just avoid that landmine round, I think he's getting close to being able to contend. Ryan,
really quick on Keith. Did you take offense to, now I don't remember who said it, that he might have the most wasted talent on tour right now?
Ooh.
No, I forget that you shared that tweet on Sunday. They're like, people just taking shots at Killer Keith. Like, leave him, let the man be.
That felt
you can't call him Killer Keith if he's sucking.
He's gonna get some wins for us this year. I'm saving my big deep dive into Keith Mitchell until he rises up the model some week a little bit more or does something more interesting. But
call it right now.
Keith Mitchell.
Call it right now. Kyle's picking him in the one and done at the Masters this year.
It's a Masters. Ship it. The next one I'm just going to highlight is Ryan Moore. He's only 6,900. He missed the cut last week, but he ended 23 back-to-back top eights, and his approach was great at Sony. He just couldn't putt, so kind of similar to Alex Smalley. I like for him to rebound. And then might have considered sprinkling a bet if I was going to on Justin Suh. Just kind of like Justin. He's getting a little bit of love this week, but he's someone I like to back from time to time. John Halsbauer over at the Lions highlighted him. He can get high with the putter, and potentially here, that could lead to a good week.
You got anything for us on tiers, Kyle? You gonna play tiers this week?
We're gonna skip tiers for now, Mike, because I don't think everything's flowing through.
I see what you mean. Technical error. I could probably fix that though if
let's just move on.
That was real smooth, Kyle. You could have come up with like, I don't play tiers here because it's a 3-round event and then a cut. Like,
sorry, our analytics lead and producer totally dropped the ball as he was, juggling a few different priorities this week. I get it. I got real-time feedback.
Sore at night, juggling a few things.
Wake up sore.
All right, fine. Let's talk about this then, Kyle. You won the name game last week. Last week, I presented the group with basically esports teams of PGA Tour players and their gamer tags. Jordan, you missed the reveal of this, but Kyle, you did come down with the win, picking. You had team 2, which was ChronoCon, the Postman, and Dead Sexy 69, garnering 267 points. Congrats.
Yeah, thank you, JT Poston, the Postman, brings it through. Mm-hmm. So this week, as you guys know, you're familiar with the area, but there's a famous music event very close to these courses. Jordan, do you know what that is?
Burning Man.
Coachella.
I was gonna say Coachella. I was waiting for that to.
I was trying to think of a funny joke response to Burning Man there. It's one that popped back. So yes. Coachella. Yeah. We're very near.
I knew that.
We're very near Coachella. It takes place at the Empire Polo Club in Indio, California. I've actually been to the Empire Polo Club, not during Coachella. But kind of similar to your vein last week, Mike, we have 4 bands that may or may not exist here. And we have a group of 3 golfers that are potentially, part of each of these bands.
You did so, this looks really nice, Kyle.
I'm laughing at team 2 because I have no idea how it connects. So I'm looking forward to this, Kyle.
We're going to start at the bottom. Team 4. We're going in inverse here. We got Florida Georgia Line, country music sensation Eric Cole, as No Laying Up likes to say. Of course, It's going to be on that team. Zach Belair and Lee Hodges. A bunch of country guys.
It's perfect name for a country band.
Yeah, they come in at $22,400 in team salary. Team 3 is a band called Blackpink. Are you familiar with Blackpink, Jordan?
No, I am not, Alex.
They played at Coachella last year, and apparently it's a South Korean girl group.
I have heard of them.
Yeah, so I couldn't tell you what they sing, but they're a South Korean girl group. So naturally, we have that team as Cage Lee, Tom Kim, and S.H. Kim.
Oh, it's Lee Kim Kim.
Yeah, had to go there. 24-3 on the salary. Next team 2. Also that has played.
Kyle, can we take a timeout here?
Yeah.
I love that you picked Tom Kim there.
Why?
The one with the non-Korean first name.
Well, his name is Ju Hung.
No, I know, but it was I just found it funny that it was KH Lee, SH Kim, and Tom Kim versus Sung Jae Kim.
Or Sung J M. Yeah, but that team would have been too expensive.
Sung Jae M.
Yeah, I had Sung Jae, but we had to play with the salary here. You guys give me a hard time when it's
that's true.
It's too much departure. So also playing at Coachella last year was Bjork.
She's still around, huh?
Yeah, and apparently she's 58 years old. So I had to create a team of older folks. We have Matt Kuchar, Billy Horschel, and Michael Block. Yes, we have Michael Block this week. He is the section champion for the PGA, so he gets in this field. 21-2 on the salary there. Maybe catch a little bit magic for Mr. Blocky. And then we have the Strokes as the final, led by none other than Tommy Tables, Tom Hoagie, Ricky Fowler, and Charlie Hoffman, coming at 23,500.
This the thought that went into this. A+, Kyle.
Wonderfully done. Wonderfully done. Draft order, though, is going to be finishing last week with 175 points is Jordan, followed by myself picking second. The listeners will get a coin flip of the final 2 teams, and Kyle, you'll get what's left over.
Michael Block.
Yeah, I'm getting Block Party, aren't I? I had to put him in, though, when I saw him in the field.
No, you didn't. That's why you're asking us for names of older golfers in the field, and I think I gave like 3 or 4 decent ones, and I definitely didn't say Michael Block.
Well, I already had Block. I had to find somebody that was more expensive that I could pair with Block.
Fair enough.
So that's
fair
set the bar
enough.
with Block, and then
yeah.
All right, Jordan, what do you want?
Ooh, I don't know if I'm feeling the Strokes or Blackpink more.
I figured you would be a big Blackpink fan.
I've got the fever.
What's it gonna be?
Tough choice. Tommy Table, and I'm gonna go Team 3 Blackpink all day.
Okay, that's a good move because Tom has some nice course history here. So I would love to be all over Team 1. Tom Tables, Ricky Fowler, Charlie Hoffman.
You can go low.
Certainly can. Kyle,
what about
we're going to give the listeners. We're giving the listeners Team 4. We can't give him Blocky.
All right. Let's go. Cooch rebound this week. Billy Ho's been playing some decent golf. He's coming back, and then hey, Block Party. We've seen him hang before.
We have what? When was that? All right, Kyle. Last point. Are you going to bet on the American Express?
I'm interested in Sung Jae this week for the reasons we've talked about. He had the most birdies of anyone in the century, right? So if there's someone that can maybe fill it up this week, and he's had some good history here. If you jumped on him at Monday, I think the best you could find out there is 25-1. Andrew Putnam I highlighted, but interesting 75. And then just like what I mentioned for my lineup approach, wanted to take one up high and then throw some darts down below. Justin Suh at 120 and Brandon Wu at 220 were a couple of starts. Might sprinkle one more and make it to the Casey's at the Iowa border here.
I got about 12 hours left in the betting state, so I need to figure my stuff out, including maybe a bet or 2 for the Masters. So I'm going to sleep on it.
I like yeah, we need to talk through. You know what we do need to talk through? Jordan tried to bring it up, and then we pushed it on him. I know Mike's trying to run to bed here, but you're survivor, Jordan. Who'd you take last week?
Corey, no, I took Henley last week.
Nice play.
Yes. Which you do, the tiebreaker is earnings. So it was a good, like,
Sure.
I got some cheddar for him, even though, I can't use him again, but
Who did you guys agree on for this week?
Im is on the board so far. I had Finau selected because I was like, I don't trust him anywhere. But
I don't like Tony.
I like Im from the standpoint of maybe kind of like Henley, that he's likely to make the cut and he's also likely to finish top 10. And so if you're going to kind of build that tiebreaker balance, and you don't really need Sungjae somewhere else.
What is there? Do you get more from using these guys at the bigger events, or is it all about surviving?
It's about surviving, and then just the tiebreaker is earnings. So hopefully, I guess I should look how many people got eliminated last week. There were 100.
The other places to look would be like Xander or Cantlay, but
there were 205 entries, and 40 got eliminated last week.
Wow. There weren't that many
Who'd they take?
that many big missed cuts. That's tough.
The Sahith was almost Sahith and Matt Fitzpatrick were a large chunk of them.
Fitz would have got me. I tried to go there a little bit in GPP.
Some buffoon picked Martin Laird. There's a JJ Spawn.
What?
Party Marty.
And a Tom Hoagie. Guy lost his season on Tom Hoagie.
That sounds like something I would do.
But it's funny, there are a lot of people did 5 entries and a few people did 10 entries in this.
Oh wow.
So like seeing people in here like, oh, one guy lost 3 entries last week because he picked Matt Fitzpatrick 3 times, assuming it was an easy, like he was using a good player, so he was gonna, but nope, he's toast.
Well, I look forward to working with you on this, Jordan. This is going to be a good bit this season because it's a slightly different strategy than one and done. It kind of similar, but you don't have to take as big as swings, and so I look forward to figuring that out.
Yeah, and I will give you guys a small percentage of the winnings if we win it all.
That sounds great. Buy us a beer at the RTG Invitational.
That I can do.
Any final thoughts?
Good luck.
Let's win some money. Let's go win some money.
Yeah.
Let's win some money.
That's it for our show this week. The American Express preview. You can find our content on our YouTube channel, Reading the Green, on Twitter at RTG Podcast DFS, and of course, any podcast platform. We have new episodes Wednesday. Follow us, DM us, leave feedback. We'll be back in a week with the results for the American Express and look ahead to the Farmers at Torrey. See ya.